Hey guys, it's Juan again from Physique Transformation Academy, and today I want to show you guys a brutal leg workout that I'm doing right now at home. So I train at home, and you can see my legs are massive as I work on becoming a super heavyweight bodybuilder. Let me show you guys how to get these monster legs at home. The main principle is take everything to failure, focus on the contractions hard, focus on the negatives hard, and don't leave any reps in the tank. Now, I didn't videotape my entire workout, but I at least want to show you guys some of the main bread and butter movements that I have. So I started off my workout with some biceps and calves superset, so I've already done that. And then I move on to hamstring curls. If you notice here, I do one heavy set of about 4 to 8 reps, and then I do a back off set of about 8 to 12 reps. The main goal is stabilizing the lats, the upper back, feeling glued to the bench as I even work on stabilizing my pelvis. Now I allow a little bit of movement, but I still try to keep the hips down as much as possible, keep the glutes contracted, and focus heavily on the big hold at the top in the hamstrings and nice slow negative. And I turn the hamstrings on right before I kick up. So up next, what I went to is gonna be some Smith machine squats. 1 week I Smith machine squat, 1 week I free weight barbell squat. Nice and heavy set here of 5.5 plates and a little bit more. It's about 525 pounds. I come all the way down to the safety. I pause there for a sec and I press up hard. I use a wideish stance and I focus heavily on hard contraction with the quads, the glutes, the hamstrings, and the adductors. These fry me. And this is one of the main reasons why I've been able to build my legs. Heavy squats with control. I go to the back off set. Here I went down to 435 pounds, I believe, or 435 pounds, and I crank out a set of, I believe, 6 reps. Again, same style. It's a little bit easier, so I focus heavily on the nice deep inhale on the way down, stabilize, keep the lats tight, especially the lower lats, and just come up with all my might, contracting the glutes, the hamstrings, the adductors, the quads. And I like to fail on the negative many times. Sometimes I don't fail on the negative on the heavy set, but on the back off set, I take that all the way. Even if I know I'm not getting another rep, I focus heavily on feeling that nice slow negative and just contracting as much as I can. That's how you're gonna build muscle. And it's not about genetics or some people say, oh, well, you got these giant legs because genetics. No, it's about working really hard, taking sets all the way to failure. From there, I move to a single leg press. If you notice here, I start with my left leg, so I'm not showing the leg I'm working, just due to the angle of the leg press. But I put a safety at the bottom, I put a dumbbell as a safety. That way I can do a nice slow dead stop at the bottom, and I contract up. I like putting my other foot around the platform. I find if I straighten my leg out, it just feels really awkward and I feel unstable. But the goal is to absolutely kill that other leg and not focus on pushing at all with that other leg. Unless I fail at the bottom, then I help my way back up. Again, the main goal is nice, slow negative, pause at the bottom. And in this movement, I like to really initiate the movement with the adductors and the glutes. The way I have the stance is very high on the platform, and I have my foot a little bit more outish. When I leg press, I'm a big believer in stabilizing the upper back, so I'm pulling on those handles as hard as I can. I keep my shoulder blades back and down, and the core super tight. One of the main reasons why people get hurt on the leg press is going to be because they're not tight and stiff enough. Now, as I move on to the other side, you can see a little bit more about how nice and slow I go, how deep I take that leg. I think about driving my knee right into my armpit, pausing for a second, and contracting hard up. As I contract up, I think like I'm squeezing my legs on stage, and I'm using fairly heavy weight here. I'm using 315. Again, it might not be a lot of weight for 2 legs, but when you're doing it with 1 leg and you're taking these all the way to failure, you have no other option but to grow. And I think that's the main thing, guys. Most people stop way too early before failure, and that's why most people aren't growing. The ultimate principle to gain muscle, whether natural or enhanced, is going to be progressive overload. Getting strong through time using the same nice clean form. And this is why I've been able to not only gain about 10 to 15 pounds of stage weight every year, but on top of that, I grow even during preps. How is it that I'm about 3 weeks out and I'm still putting on muscle? I'm still putting on strength. It's not a matter of genetics or PEDs. It's a matter of just working brutally hard and forcing the body to grow. Up next, I move on to some leg extensions. I keep my body stabilized. If you notice, I'm gripping onto the sides of that bench right there. And I'm really keeping everything tight as I kick up hard using exclusively the quads, and I hold that contraction at the top. My goal here is not heavy. My goal here is just driving as much blood as I can into the quads. I just do one set here, but I take that all the way. I also find this is really good for knee health. As you hold that contraction at the top, it really helps you strengthening a lot of those stabilizer muscles that you wouldn't be using if you were just kind of holding it for, not even holding it, just kicking up and coming back down. So again, this is a movement where I just take all the way to failure. Very safe movement to take to failure. And you gotta embrace that burn. If you're not embracing that burn, you're not going to be able to take things all the way to failure. Look, I even do a half rep there. Up next, I move on to the glute ham raise, what I consider one of the absolute best exercises you can do for the hamstrings, glutes, and lower back. Most bodybuilders do not do this movement. This is mainly a power lifter or athlete type movement, but I can promise you, those guys know how to get strong. And if you look at any proper power lifter that's very strong, their backside is on a whole other level. And that's where most bodybuilders lack, the hamstrings, glutes, and back. So this is an amazing movement to learn how to do. I'm actually using extra weight here. Nice, slow negative. I focus on completely stretching out the hamstrings. I hold the stretch for a sec, and I contract back up hard. I don't come all the way up because you start losing tension due to the strength curve of it. So I come up just to the point where I feel everything super tight, and then I go nice, slow negative. I like doing 2 sets here as well. When I start off with this movement, I can use more weight. Towards the end of the workout, I'm only using a 10-pound plate, but I can promise you, this movement's gonna destroy you. From there, I went and did some banded adductor work. I don't have an adductor machine at home, but if you notice, my adductors are quite thick. That's just from squatting deep and being able to work on the adductors at home. And lastly, at the end, some heavy glute work. I've already done plenty of squats. I do plenty of deadlifts in my day-to-day life, but I still like to work the glutes directly, not only for health, for back health, for glute health, but also in order to be able to grow them and have these big shredded glutes on stage. So if you notice, the main thing is the big hold at the top, pushing some heavy weight, contracting, and taking that all the way to failure.